This is a playtest video for Universal Soldier Fantasy Battle with Fists of War figures. We have a Necrodrake Bone Warrior army of undead on this side of the table, and on the opposite side of the table we have an Empire of Necropolis Knights Guard army. Both are small in size, mostly because the magic users, Necromancer and Heroes, are so big. So the turn is broken down into phases. First phase is the order phase, where we place our order chits. The orders are then revealed, and a second phase is the movement phase. The third phase is the magic phase, which all spells are placed face down and then revealed, and then magic is resolved. The fourth phase is the missile fire phase, where missile fire is resolved. The fifth phase is combat phase. If there's any melee, it will take place. And the sixth phase is end phase, where we record missile fire shots and fatigue. So we'll start with the first turn by putting down our orders. So we have order chits, or small cards, that we place behind each unit in showing what I want my units to do. Once both players have placed down their orders, you're done over there. We will reveal the orders and see what each unit was doing. Now the rule states that if you don't want to do what you've ordered your troops to do, you have to at least do half their movement worth of their turn. So the undead move at the slowest movement rate. Their infantry moves 3 inches, their cavalry moves 6 inches. Their heroes move like normal humans, and in this case, the undead hero moves 4 inches and 6 inches, and the undead magic user moves 6 inches and can charge 9 if he wants to charge anybody, but most of the time magic users would not want to do that, I would think. The human armies, the cavalry moves 6 inches and charges 9 inches. The polearmed unit moves 4 inches and charges 6 inches, and the bows move 6 inches and charge 8. Again, their heroes move as normal. The magic user can go 6 and 8, and the hero can go 6 and 9 on his charger. So now we would do our movement, and the movement is simultaneous because first thing to do is declare any charges, which there are none at this point because nobody could reach that far, so there's no charges, so just movement is done simultaneously. I'm going to move my undead archers 3 inches forward. As you can see, the Empire of Necropolis move their knights 6 inches forward because they have an advance order. My spears can go 3 inches, that's the fastest a unit of skeletons can go. And my cavalry goes 6 inches. Everybody's moving straight ahead at this point, so okay, now my cavalry, I don't necessarily want to get that far out in front, so I have to go at least 3 inches because I've given them an advance order, so I will move them back 3 inches so that my units stay in a line. I guess that's a tactic. And my hero can go 4 inches so he catches onto the back of those guys. Now heroes can be attached to units, or they can operate independently. This one's operating independently right now. I've wheeled my magic user to the left, so I have to go at least 45 degrees to the left for at least 3 inches. I'm going to go 6 inches. They move pretty fluidly, so he's completed his wheel. All orders are then picked up, and the next phase of the game will be the magic phase. So at this point in time, the players pick up their magic cards and they determine what spells they want to use. Sorry, the Bone Warrior spellcaster is level A. The Empire of Necropolis spellcaster is level B. So the Necromancer on the undead side is a little bit better. what level of spell you want to cast determines how many spells you can cast. At this point in the video, our camera broke, so I wanted to explain to you what happens as we're going ahead. They're going to pick the spells for their magic phase, and you can see them putting them down on the table. Then they will reveal them face up, and they will do the magic phase. In this phase, the Necromancer cast 3 undead haste spells on his units and made them move faster, and a darkness, which you can see at the top of the screen. The Empire of Necropolis player cast a C-level firebolt, which did no damage to the skeletons, and an E-level ward of magic, which had no effect because it did not have any successful throws on its counter dice. The turn then continued with missile fire, where the Empire of Necropolis Knights Guard archers did 1 damage to the skeleton archers, and there was no melee for the melee phase. And then the turn ended with the end phase, which had no notes to take place. Now we go on to the second turn. Okay, so we've just revealed our orders for the second move. Now we're going to do the moves. There's a couple things going on here. The Empire Necropolis archers have got a hold order because obviously they want to fire. Advance, advance, advance. We have 3 different units down there, all going straight forward. This is a charge of charge order. Now that's an interesting order because he was expecting a charge. So a charge of charge order becomes a hold if nobody charges. So those guys are just going to stand there for the turn. The Bone Warrior Cavalry is doing a right wheel, so it will get moved that way. The Magic User is doing a wheel as well, so he's going to have to go to the right. And the other 2 are advancing, and the archers are advancing to close that range down. Alright, so we can do our movement now. Now, important thing is, these guys have a undead haste order on them, so they all get plus 4 inches of movement. So the shambling horde just became a very fast moving horde. Scary, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
So I can get rid of my marker now. These guys go 7 inches. Are you advancing?
Yeah, we're going to clash.
So they hit.
We're going to hit probably right at your end because I'm moving 4. So we're going to
meet somewhere in there.
So we may as well just crunch him in. How about here?
Yep.
Is that good?
Yeah.
All right.
You're horrible to me.
It was horrible on my part. I should have saw that coming. Because you put an advance on them. I forgot though they were moving that fast.
And they got the advance order. They got the haste, undead haste, which I can remove.
Good move.
And the hero is trying to stay with them and not doing a very good job. And I see that he's going to run into the cavalry. The cavalry are going to do a wheel. I don't know why. So they have to go at least 3 inches to turn, which we have a fancy wheelum, but 3 inches. Yeah, so they'll turn like that.
Into the darkness. But I still can't charge them.
And they're horde, so they can only... They're a horde order unit, so they can only wheel half their move anyway. So that's about all the wheel they would be able to get out of it anyway. So now they can continue another 3 inches ahead if they want, but they'll have to avoid the hero. So I think they'd actually be pretty close to the back of this unit if they were to go.
They're pretty close, all right.
Yeah.
Well, don't forget, you can move. You've already wheeled, right?
Yep.
So
I don't have
an
to
option
do anymore. So I will hold them there at that point. And the hero advanced, and this magic user is wheeling back. He's pretty flexible because he's a magic user. Single individual independent movement units can kind of go where they want. Oh, these guys got plus 4 inches of movement too.
Yeah, if you wish to use it.
So they could go another 7. So that's what I was thinking was, sorry, they had another 3 left. Yeah, another 7. So trying to get them in there if I can. So they crunch into there. No? Is that allowed or not?
No.
You tell me. You know.
I guess some of them. Yeah. What would that be? These two obviously can't. But I'd
Well,
say that
so
these
is
two.
that as far as they can go then?
I would say that the unit would stop them, unless they broke up and became disordered. But
So I think this is going to become a nightmare.
this is yeah, because my next move can go into them. Although you're close enough, I don't think I can actually get a charge, because I think I have to be at a certain
You
range.
have to be 3 inches.
Yeah, and I'm within 2 now,
Max.
so I get no charge.
Perfect. So that is
It'd be a
benefit.
melee, but I won't get a charge, which actually kind of helps me
Okay,
if I can do that.
so let's stop hanging and go.
Okay.
The third phase of the turn is the magic phase. We're going to choose our spells from our spell deck. Choose the wizard that the wizards are going to cast. Then we're going to reveal them. I am casting a D level darkness spell and a C level strength spell on the spear unit that has arrived into combat. The Necropolis player is doing a D level smite spell on the polearm
Polearm.
unit, on the Knight's Guard unit, and an E level ward versus magic. That's a counter magic spell, which is a 2 dice E counter, 2 dice strength. So he's going to choose which one of his spells he wants to, these spells he wants to counter. The strength or the darkness?
I'm going to go for the strength.
You're going to go for the strength?
Yes.
So he's going to try and counter the strength spell. The strength spell defends as a C level spell. The ward versus magic is an E level spell for 2 dice. E versus C is 1 die per 3 dice for a 6. So he's going to get 1 die, 1/3 of a die. He's going to get 1 die for a 6 because you always get 1 die. So he's going to roll his D6 for a 6 to try and counter. It's a weak counter spell, but that's all he has. Might have been better off to try and counter the darkness spell. So the ward versus magic spell is finished. The next spell is the smite spell. It goes off. The D level spell over here is a darkness spell. It goes off. No problem. I think the magic users are going to put it in here to create charging problems and fighting problems and all kinds of stuff in there. And then the last spell to go off is the C level strength spell. So we will put a marker on each of the 2 units so we know that there's spells for those units and we can put our spell cards away. Ultimately we could leave the spell cards out. I just don't like a cluttered battlefield. So that was the magic phase. Now comes the missile fire phase. We have short range. The Empire Necropolis archers, Knight's Guard archers didn't move, so they can double fire, which is what, do you wish to double fire them?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so he's going to double fire the Empire Necropolis guys. So they are, you want to give me the rule book there? So they are medium, we just have to check the chart because they are medium bows at short range, which will be 1 die per 1 guy, and they're against E's. So they'll be 5s and 6s. So he's going to get 6 dice for 5s and 6s. He's firing against undead bone warriors who only receive half damage from missile fire. So hopefully that will save some of my men. Oh my gosh.
1, 2,
5 hits, which is 2 hits.
2 hits.
So 2 guys come off. He's going to roll his second shot, so he gets 5 dice again for 5s and 6s, or 6 dice again for 6 dice for 5s and 6s. He got a 5 and a 6, so both. So that's 1 more hit. So I'm down to 1 bowman now. Normally I would have to check for morale, but my guys love it. I get to shoot. All firing is considered simultaneous, so I'll actually get to shoot the 4 guys that were there. I'm at short range. But I moved, so I'm not allowed to fire.
Did you move only half your range?
Nope, I moved full because I had
right.
I had
The
that
rush.
I had the undead haste spell.
Right.
Undead rush. I kind of like that name. Okay.
Yeah, the undead rush. Sounds good.
So that's the end of the missile fire phase. Now we have the combat phase. So combat, we have 2 units that have collided. Did this guy's charge? No, they just advanced. So these 2 units advanced. If they had charged into combat, the 6 guys in the front would get charge dice, 6 dice for 6s. He'll lose those dice because there's no charge involved. He does, however, have pole arms, so he's gonna every figure is gonna that gets the hit is gonna count as 2 figures. Every 3 figures in infantry or every 2 figures in cavalry that are in the second rank or third rank or behind the front rank count for depth dice. Only the people in the front rank are considered in combat, and there's a 1 figure overlap. Right now we have 6 on 6, so that's not bad. However, the Necropolis have their hero in the fight, so that's a 1 figure overlap. That figure will be able to attack in the combat and not be hidden because he's overlapped. Is that correct?
Yep.
Okay. He's got the smite spell. I've got the strength spell. We have to remember that during our combat. So there's no charge dice. Then we have to determine who has the longer weapons to get first blows. Spears and polearms are equal in length.
Yes.
So then we come down to initiative. The human characters have higher initiative. If you look at their chart, they have initiative of 2, whereas the skeleton, of course, being not very initiative gentlemen because they have no brains, are only initiative of 1. So they get to go first. So he's going to roll his 6 guys that are in combat. So he's got that would be double dice. Plus he's got a smite spell which gives him an extra level of attack. So he's a D. The skeletons defend at level D. So D attacking D would be 6 dice for 6s in normal combat. He's got pole arms, so that becomes 12 dice for 6s. Plus he's got his smite which rises him up a level, so he becomes C's attacking D's. So he's going to get 12 dice for 5s and 6s. Oh, that one. There. He got 3 hits. So 3 skeletons come off the board. However, they do... All of combat is considered simultaneous, so they will count for my blows back.
And depth dice.
Oh, and he gets depth dice. He gets 1 die per 3 guys in the second rank. He's got 2 sets of 3, so he gets 2 dice for 6s. Always depth dice are always for 6s, as charge dice are always for 6s.
1 die.
And he killed another guy. So, skeletons get 6 dice, Ds, attacking Ds. They have a strength spell which doubles their combat dice. So now they get 12 dice for 6s. So we'll roll that first. They're going to get 2 more dice for depth dice. Ooh, there's 2 hits.
2 hits.
Come on, baby. There's 3 hits. The skeletons also get 2 dice for depth in the first round of combat. They didn't get any. But they did get 3 guys out.
Yeah.
That's good. But the hero gets to strike.
All right.
The hero, what's his attack and defense? He's behind you there.
He's an AB.
AB. So A attacking D. A's attacking D's are 3 dice for 5s and 6s. So he's gonna, but heroes get 2 hits. So he's gonna get 6 dice for 5s and 6s. Because he's a hero. So he did 3 hits. So 3 more skeletons come off. So now we do a second round of combat, because combat is always... Do you have to roll morale yet, or not? Does that come in the middle of combat? He's morale group...
Morale group 3.
Morale group 3, he has to check morale at 1/3 casualties. And he's only at 1/4 casualties, so he doesn't have to check yet.
Not yet.
So he gets 12 dice. Again, he's got the smite spell, pole arms double, 12 dice for 5s and 6s. Oh my gosh. I think that's it. Yep, 5. That's all the skeletons gone. So that unit is no longer in the game. However, the 5 guys that are left do get a swing
Get
back,
their swing back, yeah.
because all combat is considered simultaneous, and they get double combat dice for their strength spell. So they got 1 hit, so cause morale check,
Yep.
and that's it. So they got 1 hit. So that will cause the Knight's Guard polearm unit to check morale. However, they have a hero attached to the unit, so he gets a +1 on the die. What's their morale point?
Morale point is 6.
So their morale point is 6. The hero attached gets +1 to the die. They have to roll a 6 or better on 2d6 with a +1 added to the dice. 7, which becomes an 8. They passed it, no problem. And they're standing here. We can clean up the table by removing our spells because they are done now. And the darkness spell goes to 1 in the magic phase. Just cleaning things up. This magic phase, this darkness is going to be there till two more magic phases.
And they would be down fatigue.
Okay, so now there's no other combat this turn. We're going to do the end phase. So he needs to record his fatigue on his sheet. So they didn't charge, so there's no
charge.
fatigue for charging, which is normally 2. They did fight 2 rounds of combat, and they are a D defense, which gives them a 1.5 per round of combat, so he has to mark off 3 boxes.
3.
Fatigue becomes important because when you get to 8 fatigue, you can't charge anymore. When you get to 10 fatigue, the 11th fatigue point, you drop a level in attack and defense. So these guys are DD. They would become EE. EE, of course, is the worst in the game. No one can drop below that. So we pretty much decided this game with that big unit being wiped out and the archers being done. Most of the bone warriors have been wiped off the board. So obviously they needed more troops to equal the strength of the polearm unit and the bows. Also, bad tactical decision on rushing the bows, I think. Any thoughts?
No, not really. That's a very powerful unit of these guys. And you're right. I think probably the odds were definitely. I think we needed more bone warriors for sure to deal with this because I think they have such limitations.
Also, the A-level spellcaster didn't have an A-level spell, which would have been a fireball or some kind of necromancy magic that could maybe have counterbalance some of these polearms. And that was a decision made in designing the army and saving points. In the next video, we will focus on the experience point system and training your army. Thank you all for watching our video, and pledge on the Kickstarter now, please.